Hello, welcome back to my channel again. I know it's been a while, but there is some content that I found very interesting that I would like to share with you all. And this could be very, very important for a lot of people, especially when you're new to YouTube and trying to create your own channel, regardless of whatever it is. Here's what I have to say, that a lot of people can get very confused by, especially when they're starting out. YouTube content creators are not your friends and probably will never be. And here is why. There are 6 key reasons of why they will most likely not be your friend. Number 1, it's a parasocial relationship. Yes, you've probably heard that term familiar before, like especially with traditional celebrities, when a fan watches a celebrity and thinks they have a connection. But this one is a little more tricky because they are engaging with the general public a lot. They respond back to comments a lot, which is harder because you think, wow, they're communicating with me. That means they must be my friend. That means they're responding to me. I bring a sense of community. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but it's great that they bring a sense of community to us. I agree with that. But it should not be mistaken that they are your friends. They are still parasocial. It is still in one favor because they are the ones on the spotlight. Just like a traditional celebrity in a movie, or being shown taking photographs, autographs, pictures, maybe some small talk with the fans. The fans are just background noise, and the celebrity is the main go-to. This is the kind of the same thing with the YouTubers. The people that are making the content are really the ones in the benefit. They're the ones on the spotlight. Yes, and often they do respond back to your comments, which is a very, very good thing, which is really nice. But you have to remember, like, most likely after they respond to your comments, they're not thinking about you after that. They say their piece and then they move on. There are thousands of people, thousands, possibly some of them, especially when they're very, very big. They have thousands of people that they are responding to. So they're not really thinking much about you after that. They see the comments and they move on. Kind of like the celebrity, how they do the photographs, autographs, whatever. They don't think about you at the end of the day. You are just background noise, just a temporary reflection. And it's great that they have fans, and I'm sure they're appreciative, but they're not really thinking about you in particular. You are not considered a friend. You are not considered a friend. You are considered someone in the audience that appreciates them. And I think they have respect for that. Don't get me wrong. We have respect, and a lot of them do want to get back to you and, help you out in their own way. But it's hard. And when they are responding to comments, it feels like a friend. It's like a friend texting you, like wanting to hang out, or, wanting to communicate with you, which is harder when it's like a celebrity with the autograph. It feels more like, like a teacher accommodating a student. It's not going anywhere. So it's a lot less confusing, and the traditional celebrity is not your friend at all. But with the YouTube contenter, you see the difference? It's like they show you that it makes you feel like they're your friend, and they have similar lifestyles to us, like living in similar housing, having their own, recording on their own home phone. They're doing everything similar to the ordinary American or ordinary citizen, shall I say, is doing. which, like a celebrity, there's a lot of polished agents and all that, which seems so far-fetched, and living in these crazy big mansions. But it's harder when they are relatable, but they're not necessarily your friend. That is what I have to say about that. And what is it? Number two, they have different priorities. Let's hear it out. People go to YouTube to create content for different reasons. Whether it's to sell their brand, to sell their niche, and want to get an audience together and get a community to get their brand going. And some of it is their actual source of income. It's their source of income for this. This platform is used for a business purpose, not necessarily to make friends. So there's that. I mean, some people just like to get their art brought out to the world, brought out to the YouTube world. Some like where they couldn't even do it in Hollywood, where Hollywood would never invite them. And this was the only way they can get their art brought to the world. That's another priority. They also, maybe they just want their voice heard. Maybe they have a topic that can sell to the public, where they're not necessarily selling a brand, but they want to help people in their own unique way, or bring an opinion on a certain topic or a certain situation that's been occurring lately in the news. So everybody has different priorities of why they go to YouTube. And what is it? It all varies. But yeah, they're not necessarily looking at it to make friends. So there's that. And number three, you don't really know them. We don't know you. No one on YouTube, the YouTube commenters, the YouTubers, we're all engaging with a bunch of strangers in the end. Just like everywhere else. We are strangers. You've never seen us before. Unless we were on YouTube, some of you. You never seen, when we don't know you, we don't know your face. When you respond to comments, sometimes your face is not recognizable. We don't know you, or your name doesn't show up. And sometimes they don't even give their actual name on YouTube. People don't always do that. But another reason I also wanted to say you don't really know them is because we all have secrets. We all want certain things in our world to be private. We don't want to share everything with you. We don't. We have secrets. We all do. We have things that we don't want others, or feel that it's none of their business. And that's what it is. And things like with the YouTube content creators and the algorithms, the YouTube algorithms, they always say it's best to be authentic, excuse me. They always say to be authentic, but here's the catch. And this was pointed out by a fellow YouTube content creator that's pretty big, Sean Cannell. He pointed out, you cannot be yourself 100%, especially if it doesn't sell well. You are selling to the public what you want to create. And unfortunately, you have to sacrifice some of yourself in order to be part of the YouTube world. Because if it doesn't sell to the audience, especially if you're trying to make this like a habit or a hustle or whatever, you can't be 100% yourself. That's the golden rule. I'm sorry, that's the way it is. It's kind of like the workplace. They don't always bring their whole self to work. Well, YouTube, they don't bring themselves all the work, bring themselves all to the YouTube channel. There are things they don't want you to know. And it takes a real friend to really know someone. So there's that I really wanted to say. They are able to know a lot. And what was it? Yeah. Okay. Number 4. It's competition. Let's just say you go on YouTube. You are trying to make a new niche that is similar to theirs. They are competing. They see you as their enemy now. They see you as their enemy if you do the similar niche and threaten their brand. It can threaten their livelihood. It could threaten feeding their families. And yeah, they will do anything to make sure that does not happen. Self-preservation kicks in. This is where self-preservation kicks in, just like the workplace. Just like the workplace. This is where self-preservation is a big factor that can't be ignored. They are selling their image. You don't know them. They may have secrets that they have up their sleeve. And sometimes YouTube content creators, they don't always have the best intentions. Even the ones that seem like they have our best interests at heart, they don't always. No. And sometimes, if it's bringing their channel in jeopardy, if you threaten their niche, or if it may look bad, even if you're not in their niche, even if you're not doing their niche, but it goes against their values, they have no problem ghosting you. And sometimes the content creators may deliberately not comment on you to make sure you're ghosted, to make sure you don't exist anymore, to make sure you're casted out, and maybe get a little side hustle and get people against you. So it's somewhat dog eat dog. I hate to admit it, but that's what is a real factor. And number 5, the idea of stardom. We all know about the traditional celebrities. We hear stories how they become more famous. They become bigger people. When they become bigger and fame gets in their head, they start losing themselves. They start becoming invincible. They start being more standoffish, dismissive. They walk on water. Well, that is exactly what happens here. That is exactly what can happen on YouTube. It can happen when big people, I'm not saying these people will do this. I'm not saying these particular people, but big names like Mr. Beast or Gary Vee, those people that are in the high ranks of YouTube, sometimes could get fame in their head. You don't know these people. You don't know them. I'm not saying Mr. Beast and Gary Vee are bad people, but you just never know with any YouTube content creator, especially when they become big, especially. It could happen where fame gets in their head, they start not responding to your comments, they become thinking bigger than life, kind of like a traditional celebrity. That's what is a big factor in this. And then also, coming to think about, number 6 is social media is misleading. That's right. Why would I compare this to like Facebook, Instagram, TikTok? All those are social media. And we think of things like Facebook, where people may have thousands of friends labeled on Facebook, but are we really friends with them? all thousands? Are we really a friend with all thousands of people? Humans are not necessarily meant to have that many friends. Humans are cliquey, they are tribal, and they only have a certain amount of friends in real life that they can count with their fingers. That's it. Everyone else is just pretty much an acquaintance. So, yes. And we think that they respond to our comments, like I said, in the texting, and it seems like a friend, but it's really not. So, yeah. It's great that they bring a sense of community. It's great to be heard. It's great that we get a connection of some sort, but it doesn't automatically make you friends. It does not. And it probably will never be. It's like all of them are serving their purposes. We are all in our own cliques and tribes, just like the YouTuber, or just like the traditional celebrity, just like the workplace colleagues, and yes, sometimes even families. And sometimes even families have their own cliques and tribes. Yes, even families can. So, yes. And we can't always be ourselves, like I said. But, yeah, no. When we can't be ourselves, we start to realize they're only showing possibly the best side of them, or showing interesting topics that we may find interesting. But beyond that, we have nothing in common at all. None of us could have anything in common at all. Our values, our personalities may not align up at all. And real friendships have those commonalities. So, look, in conclusion, it's great that they bring community. Hell, it's even great if they become your friends. But you definitely cannot expect it to really happen, because this is how the business world works. On social platforms, Facebook, they stretch the truth, and we always got to be aware. You know, I don't do this to harm you guys, but I want to bring this out so you can become prepared. Excuse me. I want you to be prepared for anything possible, from any disappointments that can come along the way. Hope you subscribe to my channel, or leave any comments, and I hope to talk to you soon. All right, bye.